Thanks for staying with us here on TVC Breakfast. It's not time to take a look at what the papers are reporting this morning. I'll be doing this with my colleagues, Veronica and Etoma. Yeah. So let's breezily look at what the papers are saying this morning. The first with me is the Punch newspaper with the headline, Government raises 2,400 special forces to battle bandits, terrorists. A training of first batch of 800 begins. CDS serves notice to quit to criminals. I think that is what we need at this time. But then serving them notice to quit is not enough. But we need to see the special forces getting their boots to the ground and dealing decisively on these what's it called, terrorists. Yeah,
we talk tough a whole lot. We talk tough a lot in Nigeria, and we see very little action. We would like a situation where we back the talk with some action. Get these criminals, get them very fast, no matter what they're doing, no matter the tricks they are putting on the table. You are going over that and you are grabbing them. That will serve as a deterrent, not the rhetorics.
Absolutely. Veronica?
Well, we have often talked about this matter of security, and I don't think Nigerians want to hear what you want to do. They just want to see results.
They want to see results.
They just want to sleep with their two eyes closed. That's right. Often the time we say that what Nigerians are requesting is not much. It's not much. So I think that right now, they should just go ahead and do the needful without us telling Nigerians, this is what we are trying to do.
That's right.
Whatever it is, we are sacking them. Sack them, then tell us we have sacked them. Yeah.
Right. So, still talking about the Punch news, talking about the Nation newspaper, 250,000 sign up to recall Natasha. INEC gets documents. It looks like she's really facing serious challenges from our own constituents. And then she said, I would never apologize to the Senate for whatever misconduct allegation you've leveled against me.
One of the biggest problems we have as human beings to have and to control is pride. Right now, I think Natasha's stubbornness tilts towards pride, not just stubbornness. There are a whole lot of things she would have done that would have doused this situation easily.
That's right.
And talking about the recall documents, initially, INEC said, no, we don't recognize it. And then the next thing is they asked us to come for empowerment so they can get our signature. And now we are hearing that the document has been presented to INEC and INEC has accepted it. Well, it's Fuji, 1 week, 1 trouble. It reminds me of that book.
Well, I don't know if it is pride. Her display is a display of pride, and she has the prerogative to decide if she wants to apologize or not. I wouldn't call that pride. Well, my concern is that we are modeling things up. We are not separating the issues. The matter that we knew began this whole issue was that her seat was changed. Now it has moved from that to, there are sexual harassment allegations. And so we have taken that to cover up every other thing. And that is not even giving people, idea of how to deal with this issue. So I want us to deal with issues as they are, specific.
Absolutely. It looks like the situation is actually fluid on the side of Natasha, Akpabio, the alleged, and also that of the constituents. So we'll see how the whole thing
I am seeing the hands of Jacob and the voice
of Esau.
The voice of Esau and the hand of Jacob.
There's Esau and there's Jacob. There's a hand, there are voices.
The voice of Jacob and the hand of Esau,
So the Punch newspaper is next. Naira for crude talks, Dangote Refinery. Others may import $1.4 billion crude monthly, and the rider reads, NUPRC weighs solution to NNPCL crude shortage claim. Tinubu panel may meet before Salah. We'll discuss that in the course of the programming. Power generators fear collapse, over 4.7 trillion naira debt. We do not want to hear this at this time. But Veronica, look at this. The Punch newspaper on the nameplate says, overstaying visas attract permanent ban. U.S. warns Nigerians. So going to U.S. is one thing, being deported is another thing. Getting there legally, maybe as a visitor, and you stay beyond your own
Why should you stay beyond your time? That's my question.
And he said, we don't want to hear anything about honest mistake.
Of course. Why should you stay beyond your time? One date you should not forget is the date of your departure out of a country you travel to, be the U.S. or anywhere, so you should plan yourself.
That's right.
So don't tell me it's not honest.
What if you're due to fly today and your flight is rescheduled? Would you be blamed for that?
You wouldn't be blamed for that, but that rarely happens. That rarely happens.
But they said no honest mistake.
Internationally, that rarely happens.
What I know is that your travel consultant always tells you, if it is the US that you are, and you have you have a 3-month visa, stay for 2 months. Leave a month before your visa expires. You know, and I think that's a very responsible thing to do. As she said, what are you doing there until your visa expires?
Anyway, so this is just a warning to Nigerians. Let's move to the next paper. Daily Trust is next. Our democracy is failing. That's according to Obasanjo, others. So much talk about this democracy thing. I'll come to you. But Kogi jailbreak, how inmates killed warder, tied up 2 others. 5 inmates recaptured as federal government orders probe. Demand for forex rises as Naira depreciation continues. FCT teachers, EFCC nabs over 100 suspects in Abuja Ponzi scheme academy raid. Talk about democracy, Veronica. You know, it's more like some people describe it as nascent, that is still growing. Ours is still growing. But if you look at the criticism of democracy, I think Plato, Alexis de Tocqueville, who wrote the book on Tyranny of Majority, that is just, sometimes we find misinformation, sometimes we find people just headlessly going together to vote without even thinking who they are voting for.
Absolutely, that happens, and that's because of the influence they have, the influence of either the people at the helm of affairs, the influence of their environment, who makes the decisions, the people, their leaders, and so that impacts, you know, how these people see things, the narrative flying here and there. So at the end of the day, who are we to blame for the failure of democracy in Nigeria?
That's right.
These persons that are speaking are leaders in their right. Some have held positions in government. Right. And so what did you do? What were the building blocks you put in place when you were there or as you were there to ensure that democracy thrives wherever you are? It is not just when you are in government, but wherever you find yourself.
Well, we'll know whether it is fixed, it needs fixed, or so many other things that we need there or flawed. Next is this Nigerian newspaper. With the headlines, local government autonomy, don't frustrate implementation. Labour warns state governors not to deviate from Supreme Court judgment on resource allocation to 3rd tier. Ramadan, Wiki distributes 10,000 bags of rice to vulnerable FCT Muslims. Constituents take Natasha's recall process to INEC. And how I lost a friend to tuberculosis, Remi Tinubu recounts. That's on the ear of the newspaper. She's often talked about this tuberculosis. And not just tuberculosis, we are having to deal with diphtheria, which is very, very crazy, you know, having similar symptoms with COVID-19. There's a whole lot that we need to do in our health industry, health sector. I'm
happy she's making a lot of statements concerning all these health-related issues. I think that is one of the ways the First Lady should support her husband's administration.
That's right.
I hope that we're going to have some action around that area, you know, maybe money's voted, maybe drugs brought in, something, an intervention that is spearheaded by her.
That's right. She made some donation, I think about 1 billion or so. That was yesterday when they were marking World Tuberculosis Day. So she is not just talking, but she's also, you know, walking the talk by giving monitoring.
Very quickly, Blueprint is next. 2027, we still don't have structure, modus operandi. That's according to Coalition. It says finding alternative political party main hurdle. Interesting development. That's ahead of 2027. On the bottom strip, port security. Nigeria has made tremendous progress. U.S. Coast Guard. That's good news coming out from there. Daily Independence is next. 16 airports dragged down. Federal government has fought raking 96.4% of 358.2 billion naira. Analysts urge hybrid concession model for Nigeria's airports. Rivers PDP governors challenge emergency rule at Supreme Court. And Veronica Fubara denies link with militant explosions, warned against fake social media posts.
If it's easy, we were not there, so there's nothing I didn't do. Of course, but you know, as I and Etoma were discussing, there are peculiarities. These people have their peculiarities, and we must understand that. Some of them had made statements leading up to the declaration of a state of emergency. They're saying we do not know what will happen and all of that. And if they are now making statements, bold statements, is the state of emergency really addressing the issues?
Absolutely.
That's the question.
Let's move on to the Nigerian News Direct. Federal government mauls PDP in deepening broadband infrastructure by 90,000 kilometers. And then FY 2024, okay, Lagos government, LIFC Inc. MOU with City of UK, FCDO for Lagos International Finance Center. Etoma, if you look at this story by Nightcom, they said over 956 Nigerians evacuated from Libya in 3 months. I guess these statistics came out. If you check the story, lots and lots of statistics, you know, from years back, evacuating Nigerians from Libya who are facing challenges and all of that. That's kind of like in reaction to what Very Dark Man, you know, calling out the government, saying that they're not doing anything.
If a country says these people from this country have to go, let them go. You know, you're not from that country, and there must have been some serious infraction. Maybe they got in there illegally. Maybe they are known for criminal activities, for whatever. I don't have a problem with Libya sending Nigerians back home.
No, they're not sending. They have sleeper cells. They have some of them. You know, Libya is full of you know, crisis currently after the fall of the Gaddafi. And then what they do is they take Nigerians and other nationals. Some of them also have their own private prisons, and in collaboration with some foreign criminals, they sell their parts, harvest their organs, and all of that. So many.
No, if that, I mean, Libya is very correct to do whatever they are doing right now concerning that, because these things you just mentioned are really heinous.
Absolutely. And Veronica, if you look at Platform Times, also agrees to that, you know, saying that if you are not welcome there, why do you have to go to Libya? You know that Libya is not a good place to go to.
These are desperate, you know, steps that people take. We know that Libya is a transit route when people want to, you know, leave the country to other foreign countries, for instance. Yes, France and all of it. So they passed that route. And we know that the route leading to Libya, Agadez and all of those, it's a lot. So, but going through this trauma, it's a sad one that they found their situation. But what is the government doing to ensure that people see Nigeria as a place they can thrive, where they do not go to other countries in search for help and taking desperate, you know, trips like this?
Absolutely. Because of our time, let's get to the final step, which is Sport and Life. Shell retains Rwanda heroes. Nigeria versus Zimbabwe. Kickoff 5 p.m. Interesting. Zimbabwe's Zamora Warriors ready to stop Osimhen. Look more. If you know, people are Super Eagles Wolf fans with 500 jersey gift, and this is also consistent with is it Akwa Ibom's governor Uyo, you know, purchasing 30,000 tickets for fans to watch because the match is taken on there.
Nigeria will win. That's all.
Nigeria will win. I love that. 10 statements straight.
But because we have two things working for us. The game is going to be here, and Osimhen is also there. After what we did, I think these guys are a little bit shaky. Yeah, with Rwanda. I think these guys are a little bit shaky.
The spirit is high. The spirit is high. And the time for us to go get the goals.
But they need to defend Osimhen as much as possible. So everyone, whatever your position, center, forward, defender, whatever, you must do your job.
Absolutely.
You see, for somebody like Osimhen,
we have to go now.
Okay, I know. That's the star of the show. The referee will have some kind of protection.
Well, it remains to be seen. Nothing remains to be seen. What we want to see is that we want to defeat them. Let's spell their name. All right, that's about it for the newspapers upper review today. We believe that we've done so much justice in updating you as to what the papers are reporting.